Young world. The reason why AR Ab possibly might have really got targeted and locked up may not be about the crime he was talking about doing on Vlad. It may actually be about him talking about real estate on Vladtv. That could really possibly be the reason why they targeted AR Ab, because the one video in particular, the one interview, he was talking about he'd been buying real estate up left and right, and him and his team been buying at least one property every single month for the past however many months. Stuff like that is information that they don't want that out there. They don't want you to think like that, because when you talk about buying real estate, you're actually talking about acquiring wealth and acquiring physical stuff that you can actually touch that can turn into generational wealth. You gotta understand, that's the last thing they want to see somebody do. They might let you get away with buying 1 or 2 properties, flip 1 or 2 here and there, but when you're actually talking about acquiring properties, 10, 20, 30, 40 properties, that's the beginning of acquiring wealth and creating generational wealth. And when people call Vlad an agent and stuff like that, the one reason why I be feeling like he could possibly be on some agent type stuff is because if you notice, Vlad always down talks real estate. Why does he always down talk real estate like that? When Jay Morrison was up there talking about real estate, he got a nerve to try to tell Jay Morrison that investing in real estate is a bad idea. Makes no sense at all. You're gonna tell this dude from the street, smart dude, made it happen, figured out real estate, got it popping, made it happen, teaching other people how to do it. I'm talking about Jay Morrison, and try to go against him and tell him that investing in real estate is a bad idea. It doesn't even make sense. Don't get me wrong, you can definitely make some bad investments in real estate. If you don't buy real estate the right way, you can definitely buy bad real estate. If you buy houses that cost millions of dollars and you just that's not buying good real estate, because now you're paying sky high taxes on the houses that you bought, whether you pay a mortgage or not pay a mortgage on them. The taxes are going to be sky high. Stuff like that is not really creating any kind of wealth. You know what I'm saying? That's just a person going all out for themselves and putting it and creating a huge payment for themselves one way or another. But when you talk about buying real estate the way Jay Morrison talks about buying real estate, investing in real estate, either flipping houses or buying houses and renting them out and creating income off them, there's no way you can go wrong doing that. And it seems like Vlad is always there to try to shoot that idea down. He always talks bad about buying real estate. Now I never understood that about Vlad, because just because he had a bad experience buying real estate, that says him. He don't know how to buy real estate. He did it the wrong way. But he stayed trying to spread that to everybody else. Anytime anybody talks about buying real estate, Vlad always make it seem like it's a bad idea. And you got that makes you think, you know what I'm saying? You got to kind of wonder why is that? A couple of the reasons why he said were kind of valid. I ain't saying that he didn't have any validity to the stuff he was saying. For instance, he said the one time you get $100,000 mortgage, you might be paying like $150,000 to $100,000 in interest on the mortgage, which is definitely true. 30-year mortgage, you're going to be paying sky high. Through the course of your loan, you paying damn near twice what the house was worth than what the value of the house is. But what he's not telling you is that you can go and rent a house or rent somewhere an apartment for 5, 10, 15 years, give the landlord $50,000, $60,000, $70,000, $80,000, $90,000, $100,000, and when you leave, you don't have a dime of equity in none of it at all. You get up and leave, you take all the stuff you came with, you're going, somebody be there the next day. On the other hand, if you're paying a mortgage for 5, 10, 15, 20 years, you're going to have some kind of equity by the time you're done. Even if you don't pay the whole house off, even if you move or sell the house or whatever like that, after a certain amount of years, you start paying down the bill, paying your mortgage down, the principal, you start building up equity. And then when you have equity built up, you can actually buy other houses and do other stuff with just equity. At that point, you don't even need no more money to make stuff happen. You can flip houses with equity. You know what I'm saying? There's so many different things you can do with real estate. If you get a couple of rental properties, 5, 6, 7 rental properties, that's enough for you to live off the rest of your life. And buying houses and flipping them, I don't suggest really flipping houses unless you're going to make a real nice amount of money off flipping the house, because I would suggest buying the house and holding on. If you can afford to hold on to them and rent them out, that's income that you got coming for the rest of your life. Your kids will have it, you have it, they'll have it, and it'll keep going as long as it stays in your family. And like I said, on the other hand, you can live somewhere for 5, 10 years renting a place from a landlord. You paying his mortgage, paying somebody else's mortgage. If you living in a house that's paid off, you paying for his kids and grandkids to go to college. You paying somebody else's stuff off the rent. You paying That's not, when you leave, you don't have nothing to show for it. That's it. You don't got nothing at all to show for it. So that's what Vlad's not telling you about you paying high interest. I'd rather pay 50% interest. Most interest rates are around 4% to 6% right now. Not 4% is low right now, but to say around 5%, most interest rates are right now. You better off paying a 15% interest rate and paying a mortgage than you living somewhere for 5-10 years renting it, and you don't got a dime of equity in it by the time you leave. And this is the other thing that Vlad ain't telling you. Let's just say you get a 30-year mortgage, you buy a house, you live in there for the whole 30 years, you just barely getting by, scraping to get through to pay your mortgage. It might not have turned out the way you wanted it, but you still was able to hold on to the house for the whole 30 years. When you die or whatever like that, now your kids get the house. If you paid the house off by the time your kids get it, what you did was now you created a whole generation. You possibly created generational wealth for the simple fact that your kids are going to take possession of a house that's paid for, that they're not going to have a mortgage on. So maybe you don't enjoy the fruits of what you went through as far as getting the house, but your kids and their kids will benefit from it tremendously. Tremendously. You know how much further ahead people get when you can live somewhere and not pay a mortgage or not pay rent. That's the biggest thing holding most people back. Everybody got to pay bills. You got to pay utilities and stuff like that no matter what. But imagine if you was able to leave your kids a property that they didn't have to pay a rent or a mortgage on. That's how you create generational wealth. That's what Vlad is not telling you. So it's kind of like what I'm saying is about sacrificing. Even if you acquire one house, you know what I'm saying, and by the time you die, it might take you the whole entire time to pay it off, 30 years. You may not enjoy it the right way because you might be old by the time it's done, but now you got to think about your kids taking possession of it, a fresh house, when they're just starting out in life and going out on their own. Now they got a hold of a house that's paid for. You know how much better of a quality life somebody can have when they can live somewhere rent-free or mortgage-free? So that's what Vlad is not telling you. That's where Vlad, I feel like, could possibly be an agent, or at the very least, doesn't give a damn about giving people knowledge of how to get ahead. So I really believe that could really be a reason why ARAB got messed up. Him talking about buying real estate, him and his team buying real estate, buying at least one property every single month. That's threatening, because what if everybody in the street starts thinking like that? Anybody that got a couple dollars, what if they really start thinking like that and start buying properties? That is a real threatening idea to the people, to the elites, or whatever you want to call them. That's what they don't want to see you do.